Hey guys, how's it going? Destry here. And what you're seeing is a game called Trench Tales. It was developed by, or it is currently, rather, currently being developed by a company called Talking Drums. And it is a World War One slash World War Two inspired third-person shooter. Still in, still in early development. It's only in its alpha or beta stage. I don't really remember which one. Excuse me as I'm getting shot over here. This is the tutorial, by the way. Um, But yeah, I had my eye on this game for a little bit. I realized they had a alpha slash beta test if you support the game on their website, and I played a little bit of the Steam playtest that they had a little while ago, and it was interesting, but it was very bare bones. I felt like so I went ahead and I got the supporter pack. Wanted to give it a shot and see how it looks like. And while there are a few issues that I'm going to talk about here in just a moment, overall I really like where they're going with this so far. Their kind of main thing from what I'm noticing from this gameplay and a lot of the trailers that I've been seeing is all of the destructible environments. Basically, most of the environments you see can be almost dynamically destroyed. I don't know what exactly the right word is for that, but that's neither here nor there. I do enjoy this game for what it's worth so far, and I know it'll just keep getting better as they keep updating it. So if you're not going to watch the whole video and you kind of want my TLDR, if you like what you see, go ahead and support the development of this game. I don't think they have a release date or anything yet, but if you like what you see, then go support them. This is the open world map that they have for the alpha slash beta test. There is also like a challenge mode thing where you can choose different stages, and it's like wave based survival or something like that. And PvP and multiplayer should be added in the future, but currently it's not added. It's just single player stuff. That's not so much of a worry for me. I prefer single player games, but I know a lot of people are looking forward to that. So if you have a question about multiplayer, it should be in the game at some point. You can see me kind of getting lost in the tutorial area here. I've already went through this about 3 times, but I still kind of get confused a little bit. But yeah, that brings me into the reason for this video. Not only do I just want to showcase the game because I do like it. I think it's I don't know if I can call it unique. It is at the end of the day a third person shooter, but I like the art style. I like the aesthetic they're going for. I've always been a fan of that grungy World War One fighting in the trenches type stuff. I know that wasn't a good thing, but just in terms of an art style having that grittiness, it's something I've been looking for, and usually the only games that have that are like Battlefield. And as much as I do like Battlefield, I like to try something like this. And there's also some horror aspects to it. Should have mentioned that earlier. Um, yeah, it's if I were to really describe it, it'd be more like a third-person World War One inspired survival horror game. It might not look like it right now, and I don't really show much in this video, but there are some moments that kind of caught me off guard in my own like personal playing of the game. Um, Anyways, what I mainly do in this video for is not only to showcase the game, but to also kind of show you guys how to get through the tutorial area. And also, right after this, there's a part that, for me, was a little frustrating at first, but after I kind of figured out the layout, it wasn't too bad. So I figured not only would I showcase just the tutorial, because I haven't really seen many people do that, I would also show off this first area because there's some mortars, and you can stop the mortars, like you can take out the people who are running them. And I figured I would show you guys kind of how to do that, like where to find them and what are some good strategies to use to get through, because you can see you can die pretty quick in this game, and I do die at least once that you're going to see in the video. So this can be a pretty tough game, but I'm just going to show you something that worked more often than not for me on how to kind of get through the first open area after you get out of the tutorial. But anyways, now that I've described what the video is mainly going to be about, and I'm already 5 minutes in, I'm going to talk about some of the issues I've been seeing. And yes, I know this is still in very early development, but I still want to bring it up. Any of you who might know, I've been in I'm in college. I went back to school recently for game development. So I've been creating my own game recently. And so I feel like I can, at least shed some light on what I'm seeing and uh, just kind of what I think's going on. So one of the first things I noticed, and nothing I'm going to say here is truly like oh, the game's horrible because of this. No, it's not that. It's more little things I've seen and some bigger issues that I've noticed. So the first thing I'm going to say is what I'm showing here is kind of the checkpoint system, and also don't shoot that guy. He's a merchant. I don't know if anything will happen if you shoot him, but just don't shoot him. Anyways, the reload, it seems to happen even if you have a full, a full magazine. So you can just constantly reload even if you haven't shot anything. What I'm showing now is the inventory. It tells you on the screen that my character is facing how to do this. I'm playing on a controller right now. I have it set up a certain way where I can use most of the functions on the controller because I prefer using controllers. But yeah, you can see there. And also, a smaller thing, the magazine that falls out of the submachine gun is like a circular magazine, when the magazine that's in the gun itself is a box magazine, so that's a little interesting. Something that probably just needs to change the model for it. I'm assuming that might have been for an older version of the submachine gun before it was changed. The animation for the shotgun, his hand animation is a little weird, but I mean that can be fixed just going through the animation keyframes and whatnot and seeing if you can just change the models during that portion of the reload. There was some texture glitching, some texture animations that are not animations, but just some areas weren't fully loaded. You can see through the ground. Most of those though were nearby unfinished textures anyway. You'll see a couple of them. You might see them in this video that are actually in the that little shooting range area. There was a couple of them that were unfinished. You'll find a couple more as you go through the map. And as again, this is still very much a work in progress, so those will get fixed, along with probably most of what I'm bringing up in this video. But so far, the biggest sort of glitch or thing I found was that, well, it's twofold. One of them is that it didn't happen all the time, but sometimes when I die, and it did actually happen in this video, you die, the screen fades to black, and you're supposed to get a "you died" screen. Well, the "you died" screen would never show up for me, so I would still be technically dead, but I can still shoot, I can reload, I can probably move around, I just can't see anything. And also, I don't know why this is happening. This didn't happen to me the first time I played the game, but every subsequent run I've did, it has. When those little checkpoint things are also places you'll restart when you die if that guy was going to throw a grenade. And for some reason, ever since I restarted the game to get footage for the video, every time I would restart from the game itself, like from while I'm still playing the game, it would send me back to the beginning of the game instead of the nearest checkpoint. I'm not sure why it does that. I don't know, something in the code is set for it to, something's not coded in right or something. I'm not sure, but to fix that, I just have to exit the game and restart from the nearest checkpoint in the main menu, and that seems to fix it. But it was just weird because it didn't happen to me the first time I played the game. But as again, this game is still in development, so that'll probably get ironed out. And that was essentially the end of the tutorial, at least from what I've gathered, unless this whole thing is just a big tutorial, but this felt like after this you're just kind of thrown into the thick of it. And right past this guy, also, you want to talk to him if you want to get a bayonet for the sniper rifle. You have 3 weapons: a sniper rifle, a shotgun, and the submachine gun. And in the inventory screen, you can adjust, you can, mod the weapons, essentially. Like weapon customization, you can add stuff to them. And he will sell the bayonet part for the sniper rifle, which on the bottom, those 2 things are the special meters. When you go to the little checkpoint area, you can change those, and one of the things you can change it to is a bayonet strike. And what that'll do is if you're close enough to an enemy, it'll pin them to the gun, which I think is cool. And I think they add as like a mini human shield for a couple seconds. And I believe if you also have the kick power, you can kick them off of your gun and they'll go flying towards whatever. Now here, towards the left of that unfinished building is some enemies that'll start shooting at you, and they have pretty good range. There's also two enemies inside that little barn unfinished building thing, and then that building next to it, not this small one that I'm close to, the other one, that's a mortar. There's a mortar guy near that, like in the vicinity of that building, and he will start shooting off at about nowish. And pay attention to the right side of your screen. It did say it earlier during the tutorial. If you look at that red circle, that means that a mortar strike is heading your way. So be careful, otherwise that will kill you. And here I'm just trying to shoot the little rockets because you can make them explode. Not really working from here, so I go around, and this is going to be around the time I get my first death. Also, once again, you want to pay attention to that red circle. It's just kind of a means to let you know, like, hey, you probably shouldn't stand where you're standing. You probably want to get moving, because more likely than not, it will blow up next to you. Another complaint that I have is I think the indicator for the mortar strike should be a different color, because currently it's the same color as the pickups, like that. And you're going to see here in a second, if you look by that little fire that I was just standing next to, there's a little yellow line. That was the mortar, and I died because I didn't really notice it. And the first time I died, I thought that was some type of like pickup, and I went up closer to see if I could pick up whatever that is, and I died. I got blown up. So be careful with that. I did a jump cut here because this is when I realized that I would just restart from the beginning of the game. So I just cut out me going to the menu and getting back here. Anyways, here's the strategy I got so far for this. It might not work every single time, but it should work more often than not. What I recommend, watch out for your stamina. I probably should have explained those meters at the bottom. It's the green one's the health, the purple one's the stamina, and the white one is to use your healing and your special abilities. So my recommendation for this is run towards the back of this building so you can get inside. And then once you turn the corner, hit the slow-mo. It's going to be one of the first things you start with. And that way you can line up shots to kill these two guys and give you a little bit more breathing room to figure out your next move. And then from there, you're going to want to go up that little side path there. I'm going to do that in a second. And that's where you're going to be able to take out the first mortar guy. And there'll be a second one, which we'll get to later on in the video. But right here, I'm just getting my bearings before I keep going. And just watch out, because you will start getting shot again. Because they're going to follow. I think they might follow you. Depends. But yeah, there's the guy shooting the mortar, so we're going to take him out. Don't stand near him, because you will probably activate the mortar. So you're going to let that blow up. There's going to be a guy sniping you from a ledge, or like a perch point, through that window that I'm sitting right next to. Just going to go ahead and heal up really quick. But yeah, you'll also see that mortar strike later on that I was telling you, where it's just like a yellow indicator line, and it looks similar to the actual pickups you can get. So I think it would be good if you change that to like red, just to kind of visualize, hey, warning, this is going to blow you the hell up. But yeah, took him out. There's also some guys on the other end of this door. I tried to use the kick function to see if I can kick the door down, but I didn't have enough of the white bar, so I couldn't do it. So instead, I'm just going to shoot it with a shotgun, and that takes care of that. And there's going to be another guy here around the corner. He's gone. And I do want to say, I really like the shotgun in this game. I like how punchy it feels. I know the animations aren't super great. Strictly talking about the reload animation. But the actual shooting of it and like the punchiness of it and how it feels like a shotgun. It feels strong. I think it has more range than I normally see for a shotgun in video games. It's not something that's short burst right then and there, which I like. I like the little bit more realism with the shotguns because they can shoot from a good distance away. It doesn't have to always be point blank. Granted, you're still probably going to use it point blank because it's fun, and there is gore and dismemberment in this game. So if you might have seen, like when I blew that one guy up with his grenade, he got vaporized. He was completely gone. Also, going back to that, if you guys saw, there was a guy there who just kind of charged at me. There are some like melee type enemies, and they take more damage than the regular ones. And those are kind of the more horror oriented people, I would say. And as you might have noticed, some of the people in here look a little weird. There's a kind of eerie evilness to the enemies and to the whole area, which kind of makes sense considering what it's supposed to be replicating. Yeah, there's a guy there. I'm gonna try to dome him. There he goes. And we're coming up to the first checkpoint here of this little trench area. And you don't have to come this way if you don't want. Well, you might have to do this like first part. But I know the first time I played, I left this area and went somewhere else and did something completely different. Second time I kept going through here, so once you get to around here-ish, right there's the checkpoint. You might be able to go up on that little ledge that one guy was on and continue on towards the like village area. But for the purposes of this video, I was initially going to stop it here, but I decided to keep pushing a bit so I can show you guys where the second mortar emplacement is, and so you can take him out too. And just be careful when you're here and you reload the game or you die. There will be the one guy that we just killed on the little ledge, and there's going to be some coming from this direction that I'm facing, and there'll still be a guy from behind me. So just remember that. And there's also a guy up here, and there's going to be a guy coming from down there, and there's going to be a guy from over there. That's what I mean. That over there, it almost got me again, because for a second it looked like a pickup that I could get, and then I remembered, oh crap, that's the mortar, I need to leave. So just be mindful of that. That little red circle was letting you know he was holding a grenade, so if you shoot it, he goes boom boom. And yeah, I'm just taking it very careful here because, yeah, there's a lot of enemies down here. And there, you probably just saw it take off. That is the second mortar emplacement. And yeah, be careful, I almost died. You want to take this guy out, he's the guy who's doing this. And one shotgun shell to the back took him out. Be careful, there are mortars in here. You can tell they're the little red looking things. Here I'm just healing up a bit because some of those enemies are going to follow me towards here. And if you want my advice for how this game is, at least currently, it might get changed in the future with more updates. Just be cautious and take things very slowly, very carefully. A lot of the times if you do rush into areas like that, you know, it takes two of these guys to completely decimate your health if they have the machine guns, or some of them have shotguns. So yeah, just be careful. And yeah, I showed you guys where the two mortar emplacements are. I showed you kind of what my strategy is for getting through here without getting frustrated because you died a whole bunch to either the mortar or the enemies. And yep, there's one more guy here, and then I'm gonna go back to the checkpoint in this area and end it off here. Let you guys continue playing the game for yourself if you decide to. Like I said, I like the game for what it is, and I know it's just gonna get better as they develop it more. So it has my recommendation. I'd say give it a shot if this is something you're into. I know it's something I'm into. But yeah, anyways guys, I'm just about done talking here. I gave my thoughts. If anybody who is developing the game sees this and you've heard my feedback, I'm sure you already know about it, but I hope what I've mentioned at least helps. And like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff I'm supposed to tell you to do. And I will talk to you guys later. See ya.